So I briefly wanted to talk about the Julius Randle trade, not because it's really like the front page or the news or I expect that this video is going to do well because of it, but more because I just wasn't making videos when the Julius Randle trade came out, so I didn't really get to really put my 2 cents into it. Personally, I love the Julius Randle trade, not because I think it was like a home run kind of deal, ultimately for the Brooklyn Nets because of how our draft capital is looking for the next year. It just makes sense for us not to be as awful. We have a pick swap with Houston going in Houston's favor. It's one of the few picks we didn't get back. Granted, I don't know how good the 2027 draft class is, but you really don't ever want to give away a high draft pick to anyone. And Julius Randle isn't some all-time great. He's definitely like a multi all-star. He's made like a third All-NBA or something like that. So he's a good floor raiser for what Brooklyn wants at the moment. But I could see other benefits to the trade, mainly Joshua Jefferson. He was the guy we got with Minnesota's pick this year. He's not going to be playing for the California Classic just because of how, I guess, trade deadlines and like trade timings kind of work. But there is something great about getting these two guys. I believe Julius Randle is around 6'9". Joshua Jefferson himself is around 6'8". Jefferson himself is known for his playmaking, which is something that you're seeing as a trend with Sean Marks, I think, and the Brooklyn Nets front office, where they are collecting players that have size, can play some defense, can sort of space. Joshua Jefferson, I don't know how much I trust his jump shot, but I can believe he can knock down like an open three or two here and there. And yeah, just play make, pass the rock around, kind of like a team basketball, holistic style of play. Very similar to what you have seen from like the San Antonio Spurs during the Tim Duncan era, or maybe even like the 2024 Boston Celtics. Again, I'm not saying that this roster for the Brooklyn Nets matches those two teams in talent. I'm just saying that that's kind of where the mentality comes from, right? You got like a whole lineup of players that can just play multiple different positions. Like Yegor Dwoman, he is a 6'8" point guard, but you're often seeing him also play shooting guard and small forward. You're seeing Nolan Traore, he's typically usually a point guard. Ben Saraf, he's playing point guard, shooting guard. Depending on the roster lineup, you'll see Michael Porter Jr. play shooting guard, small forward, or power forward. Day'Ron Sharpe, similar thing. He's most likely going to be a center, but he's going to play power forward. I'm just kind of listing off players now, but you get the idea. Noah Clowney, he can play small forward, power forward, small ball center, even though I do not like that for him whatsoever. And both Joshua Jefferson and Julius Randle kind of fit that mold, right? Joshua Jefferson being a 6'8" forward, he can fit into the small forward or the power forward center position. But I also think that the benefit with Joshua Jefferson is that he's also pretty beefy. Like, I think he's around like 235 to 245 pounds. Maybe I think 245 is too much. Like, that's like Giannis weight. But he's definitely like 235 minimum, 230 maybe. So, like, he has the size to, like, play defense against centers and bigs and stuff like that. I don't know about the lateral quickness or kind of his ability to position, but it's good enough. Same thing with Julius Randle. Julius Randle, again, you want him to play the power forward position, but you could kind of put him at, like, the small ball 5 because he weighs, like, 250 pounds. He's 6'9". Danny Wolf is another guy where he's kind of an oversized point guard at 6'11", but you know, you could put him at the power forward, you could put him at the center. And yeah, we also did a lot of our, I guess, free agent signings in that similar vein. Keon Ellis is a combo guard. Mo Wagner can play forward and center. So yeah, I really just wanted to talk about the Julius Randle trade, not kind of in a vacuum of like who Julius Randle is as a person or a player, but more what he means for this kind of roster. Like, again, the Eastern Conference has definitely stockpiled their, I guess, strengths during this time, and by no means is it easy. I think we have a very stacked East, and that's saying something with last year's Eastern Conference both being pretty stacked and also pretty open at the same time. But yeah, like, I can trust a starting lineup of Dwoman, Mikael Brown Jr., MPJ, Randall, and Day'Ron Sharpe to at least win some amount of games. I'd be very surprised if that roster can't win, like, at least 30. And again, with the lottery odds, I don't know where that really fits in. Because again, I think I mentioned this, but the Houston Rockets have our draft pick. And unless we're hoping that they trade KD and Sengun and Thompson and Jabari all kind of have a, I guess, regressing of a year, or they kind of stagnate, there really isn't an incentive for us to be bad. And I don't know how much better we could have gotten. I know that there was a, I don't want to say overpay, but there was a chance for us to sign Austin Reeves this offseason. I don't know how realistic that was, but that was definitely on the radar. I don't know how I felt about that. I like this setup a bit more, where we get a forward that can play in the front court, just because we have a lot of guards. Again, I don't think Saraf, unfortunately, is going to have a long tenure on this team. I do believe he has some presence. I actually believe a lot in Saraf as a kind of spark plug off the bench kind of guy, someone who can take Traore or Dwoman's minutes when the other two aren't playing. But like, looking at this team 2 years out from kind of the Mikal Bridges trade, when we traded Bridges to the Knicks for, like, I think 4 or 5 first round picks, keep them picks, Knicks in 5, that kind of thing. Was it Knicks in 5? Yes, it was. That Knicks parade was great, by the way. But yeah, like, it's just, I really wanted to talk about the Nets, kind of how they look in general, right? I'm going to be making videos this entire offseason about some of the players, and I really like what they're trying to do on paper. If it's actually going to work for them, that's another conversation, because... So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to double check something, but the rosters on a NBA team have about, like, 18 players. And when you look at the Brooklyn Nets lineup, Danny Wolf, he's 6'11", Mo Wagner, he's 6'11", Day'Ron Sharpe, he's 6'10", MPJ 6'10", Clowney 6'10", Williams 6'9", Randall 6'9", Josh Minot 6'9", Chaney Johnson 6'8", Joshua Jefferson 6'8", Dwoman 6'8", Tyler, I'm not gonna even try to say that name. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is about 2/3 of the NBA roster being 6'8", or actually might be even more. Hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's over 2/3 of the roster being 6'8" or taller. And they're not just forwards, right? Dwoman, again, is a point guard. Danny Wolf can run the point. MPJ, Clowney, you could put these guys technically in, like, a tall lineup at the 2 spot. And yeah, like, the Lakers and the Jazz are still kind of on average taller than us, but the Nets aren't that far off roster-wise. So yeah, I don't really know if this is going to work out for the Brooklyn Nets how they want, but I'm really interested in this idea of just having oversized playmaking and spacing. So yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. And if you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe and hype the video. And if you want to hear about one of the oversized players that I was talking about, definitely click the video that shows up here.